Habari gani familia angu karibu, karibu to my home. This is Eli-Ben-Eli. Due to circumstances beyond my control, I have had to make my video a little later than I preferred to. I was at a point at which I was thinking I wasn't going to be able to make a video at all. And that really saddened me. So it kind of tells you how much I've come to value doing this. I find it very, very enjoyable, but I wanted to make a video today because I saw the story of the gentleman who is supposed to have come from it's supposed to have come from YouTube in order to inspect Marwa's party. I haven't laughed so hard in a long time. Before I get into all of that, if you haven't liked and subscribed my channel, please support my channel. By the grace of Allah, the channel is doing better, but right now it's slowed down a little. I really need your support, so please take a moment. It costs you nothing. Take a moment to go ahead and subscribe to my channel, like and subscribe, like the video, and please make a comment. I always love it when people make comments, but I have not left so I think that scammers, what is the movie's name? I forget the film's name, but I happen to know something for a fact, not only because I've seen documentaries or whatever. Scammers are attracted by what other scammers are doing. And I think that somebody saw the video of how so many people, scammers, have descended on the Villa Medellin, and this man came up with a unique approach. He was going to claim to be a representative of YouTube there to inspect Mara, and the whole thing was kind of funny. The dead giveaway that this that this man is an imposter is, YouTube is a multi-billion-dollar company. This man shows up on a bus and gets on the border to go to the party. And when he gets there and manages to get past the gate, the security guards at the gate, and the so-called security guards at the gate, they also probably sell candy at the market or something. He gets past him, and what does this high-level official do? First, he heads for the kitchen area, and the dead giveaway to anybody who was looking was probably the amount of chapati and goat meat that the man went through. And then he talks to Marwa's PA, and, he's hinting that not hinting, he's saying that he's there from YouTube. And I suspect what he was hoping was that the culture of Africa being what it is, that somebody would slip him a small amount. What is it that Kenyans like to call it? Someone would slip him something small, and he would get on a bike and leave and never be heard from again. But the only thing that I can say about that is this. There was a point at which I was supposed to have heard from Google, and it was some Chinese man, and he wanted some money from me, told me to get a game card and put some money on it, and that I was going to win a large amount of money. The minute I heard that, I recognized it for a scam, but I played it very, very serious. I went along with it and kept asking for instructions, and he was telling me what to do, and Of course, it was a scam, and I didn't put anything on any card or whatever. But it's like Mawa's the party has been a festival for scammers. At the head of the list, you have, I don't know whether the head of the list should be the bush the bush engineer, or the first plumber who, when a real plumber showed up and said, "Hey, I want to volunteer sometime," immediately ran for it because he realized that he was about to be discovered. But I don't even know whether Steve J. One should be listed among the scammers. And I'll say this. I don't really know whether Steve J. One is just an ordinary scammer or somebody who really had good intentions but just didn't know what he was doing, and he didn't have the stomach for just staying away from his family like Strongman 254, who probably doesn't really like his family all that much. But I don't know. Maybe Steve J. One is a scammer too, But the fascinating thing about all of this is that if you are a scammer, think of it like this: there are big sharks and little sharks in the ocean, and sometimes, and they're just fishes that are predators. They're not sharks. Sometimes a fish might look like a big predator, and along comes a bigger fish and eats him. Or along comes a smaller fish and tries to take a bite out of them. I absolutely love this guy. This night, and by the way, he's either Igbo or what's that other tribe? The man is definitely Nigerian. That doesn't mean that there aren't Nigerians who work for there aren't Nigerians who work for YouTube, but the man was obviously a fraud. Yeah, he just gave me. There's something about the way that he carried himself, the way that he acted, the way that he was dressed, the whole thing. First of all, if they were sending somebody in undercover, why would he reveal himself as somebody from YouTube? If they sent him there, low key and everything, the idea would have been keep your anonymity, don't let people know what's going on, and go ahead and do some checking up on Marwa. Is he engaging in fraud? Is he, featuring children when he shouldn't be featuring children? All kinds of questions. Why would he make the big announcement to everybody that he's from YouTube? In the nation of Nigeria, there's a section of the penal code, I believe is 419, is dedicated to fraud. And Nigeria is a country that has an extensive penal code section on fraud, because Nigerians, I don't know what it is about Nigerians, but Nigerians are such dedicated scammers that it's almost viewed as an industry in Nigeria. And they call people that are like that 419 men, and they're referencing the code section of the penal code. But I just think that it's absolutely, it's like, now some people are saying that quite possibly this is not really a scammer or that came on his own, that this is a stooge that Mara put up. Because let's face it, folks, and you're going to hear an awful lot of this. Mara played himself. Mara made a fool out of himself. How so? Okay. If you're going to throw a long party, do it during a time of the year when nothing is going on and when people are bored and looking for something to do and they're looking to just escape their homes or whatever. You don't you don't do it in the middle of the holiday seasons. You don't do it in the middle of the rainy season in Kenya. So the whole thing, it had disaster written all over it. Kevin Mencheria, or I'm mispronouncing his last name. He showed a video of the clay bath flooded with water. Again, it isn't like if it rains in that part of Kenya. It's like if the heavens just open up and water pours down on people's heads. You know, there's a part of me that feels a certain amount of sympathy for Mara and pity for Mara. What in the world was he thinking? You know, what was the idea of him throwing that party at that, at this particular time of the year? And what was the idea of doing it when everything is so chaotic? They say the sewage is backflowing, the toilets aren't working, the electricity isn't working. It is just one major calamity after the other. I will say this. Certain parts of the villa look very, very nice. And I look at that door that they put up at the front, and I'm fascinated by it. Mara put up a door that literally an elephant couldn't break through. Why? Probably to avoid that. Debt collectors trying to find him to collect their money, the money that he owes. The whole thing is a fiasco, and I feel sorry for Mara. I think he thought that he was bigger than Christmas. I think he thought that he was bigger than Christmas. He thought that people in the West, in Europe, in the United States, and Canada, were going to walk out on probably one of the most pleasant time of the year. It's this time of the year here in America is about feasting, it's about partying, it's about giving and receiving gifts, it's about getting drunk if you like to drink. It's just an incredibly enjoyable time of the year. And it tends to be that way in Canada and in Europe too. For that matter, it tends to be that way in anywhere that you have North and Western European Christian culture. It tends to be very enjoyable. But let's complicate it even more. This is a time of the year when Jews throughout the world celebrate Hanukkah. Hanukkah is not quite like Christmas, but it's getting to be a lot like Christmas. Gift giving, celebration, lighting candles, it's partying, it's just a very enjoyable time of the year. Compare all of that to Mara throwing a party in Kenya during the rainy season that's supposed to last a month. It's raining cats and dogs just about every day. Mara is fleecing all of the people that show up that have anything of their money. He's begging openly or begging on the down low. There wasn't much of a contest. No right thinking person who is sane and in his right mind was gonna give up the most festive time of the year in order to go hang out with Mara under these circumstances. I saw the writing on the walls last week when most of his international guests started leaving. First of all, let's stop and think about that. Some of us have been saying all along that the whole thing about him having a huge number of international guests coming was a lot of rubbish. These people were not going to come down there to expose themselves to malaria, to expose themselves to the flu, to diarrhea, to hepatitis C, and all of the fever, all of the other various possible diseases that they could get from drinking water that was contaminated with sewage. to rolling around in the mud. You know who I feel really sorry for in this whole thing? Diane, Kemi, and baby Carol. They were there. They tried to they did their best to support Maura. They were in a tent and helping to cook and everything. And what happened? They were in a tent and got flooded out on more than one occasion by the rain. The whole thing was just a disaster. But, I will say this. I feel sorry for Maura, but I see something that's really, really beautiful in the whole thing. And it is that as much as Maura has no use for other black people, as much as he despises his fellow villagers, the Maura cult, those people showed the guy such extreme love. They gave him all kinds of presents. They came to his laughable parties. Really, if there's a takeaway from the party, it should be this. Maura thinks that he's this big international star. He's not. What he is somebody who's really, really well loved and admired by the fellow villagers, who he took all kinds of advantage of. Some of them were stealing goats, chickens, maybe even cattle to give him. They were donating their last money. Some of them left their wives. Some left their husbands to come to the party. And also what? The so-called, they thought that they were going to come there and meet rich Mazungu. Some of the women, like village cook tea, thought that they were going to come there and find wealthy husbands from America. What did they get out of the whole thing? They had a reasonably good time. The handful of them that were there, they met a handful of people who gave them some presents, and that was it. That was it. All of this rubbish about 2,000, 3,000, possibly 5,000 people coming in, and the local police having to cancel any other services to the community just to be there to administer, and Nairobi sending in special controllers to take over the helipad and guide helicopters in and out, and oh my God, all of that proved to be all of that has proven to be a lot of rubbish. By the way, the so-called roof on which people are supposed to be landing or the international jet set, the Glitterati, are supposed to be landing jets and helicopters and rockets in order to attend what is it the Christmas list called it? The party of the century, possibly the party of all times. The Villa in Manila, or the Kenyan Manila, pardon me, the seats of the rumble in the jungle thrown by the King of Kings, the Capo de Tutti Capo, the Generalissimo of Generalissimos, no less a person than he who walks among the corn, he who stands tall behind the trees, he who raises his hands and the waters come out of the heavens. This was supposed to be the party of old times. I don't think. I have seen videos of village parties that were about somebody celebrating their birthday, and they were a lot bigger than this. The LGBTQ agenda, it basically manifested itself with a bunch of men who were missing their wives, looking at the behinds of other men, but really, apparently not much of anything happens. There is a story about a certain individual who is supposed to have fallen into a borehole in the middle of the night and had to be fished out. even though some people did get hurt, even though some people did get sick, at the very least, it wasn't quite the disaster that we thought that it was going to be. But everything else that we predicted, the stench of sewage, the toilet not working, the septic system failing, that all proved to be true. We were not saying that out of cruelty. We were not saying that because we wish Mara bad. We were saying it because the logic of the situation told us previously that it was going to happen. You know, I almost feel a sense of sadness that the grand fiesta, to end all fiestas, the party of the century, the party of the epoch, the party of the millennium is about to end. Why? You know, if I wanted something to laugh at, all that I needed to do was watch one of those videos from the Marwa YouTube cult, and there was always something to laugh at. What is there going to be now? Marwa is going to go back after probably early January, after the Christmas holidays. He's going to go back to living on the run as an international traveler. The more that I look at that, the more silly that I think that it becomes. These people, all of these so-called travelers in the Mara cult, travel around the world for what purpose? To stay in cheap motel rooms, eat cheap foods, and be able to claim, oh, I went to such and such a country. They don't make any business contacts. They don't make any kind of contacts whatsoever. They obviously don't learn much about those cultures, because when you go to a country, it takes a certain amount of money for you to be able to enjoy the country. Most of them don't have it. It's just the novelty of being able to say, oh, I went to Dubai. If you go to Dubai and you're not careful, you end up being turned into a slave, okay? A lot of those so-called countries are not all that fun to really travel to, you know, but it's just the novelty of being able. I think that those travelers are engaging in foolish, silly activities. They could probably get equal numbers of views, if not more views, if they stayed at home, and they could save some money, you know. But brothers and sisters, familia Angu, Santia Sana for watching my video this far, and I'm gonna ask you, if you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe. Help my channel to keep growing. And keep your fingers crossed. I was having some equipment problem, but by the grace of God, I managed to overcome it. May God bless each and every one of you. Have a happy holiday. For those of you celebrating Hanukkah, Hanukkah Semiach. For those celebrating the other holidays, happy holidays. May God be with each and every one of you. Kwaheri.